What's going on, everybody? Josh or Miho here. I hope everybody's doing good and well and stuff. I got an album review to do for you, and I'm going to be talking to you about the new album from the band Howl entitled Bloodlines. This is released on Relapse Records. Now, if you're not too familiar with this band, they're based out of Providence, Rhode Island, and the best way to describe the sound of this band would be a very heavy, misanthropy-fueled style of sludge metal. I mean, if you were to take the sound of Georgia metal bands like, let's say, maybe Mastodon or Baroness or Kylesa and add just a really heavy, evil edge to it, that's the kind of style you would hear from the band Howl. And over the last couple of years, this has been a band that I've gotten great, endless amounts of enjoyment from. So much so that I considered their debut album, Full of Hell, to be my favorite album of 2010. It impacted me that much. I really enjoyed this band's style, both on, I mean, not both, but like on a musical, visual, and lyrical front. This band to me had the total package. I mean, just amazing, amazing vocals, great guitar work, just some incredibly catchy riff work, great bass, great drums, some awesome lyrical content, and even to their earlier stuff with their self-titled EP. I really dug the hell out of this stuff. I mean, and the Gnawing, holy shit, that song is just so killer. But yeah, ever since that album, they've been a lot more active. They've been doing a lot of tours. They've been really just helping get their name out there. And now, after all this time, we have their second album. It's called Bloodlines. It's 10 tracks, and it clocks in at around 40 minutes in length. And after giving this album many, many listens, I've determined that this album is very much a different sort of beast. I mean, whereas Full of Hell was heavy, crushing, and just straight out misanthropic, Bloodlines still carries on those same kind of qualities, but things seem to be a lot more cleaner. Things seem to be a lot more well mixed, well produced. This band sounds a lot better. And this album seems to be a little bit more on the approachable side. If you had a hard time trying to approach Full of Hell, you have no reason to not be afraid to touch Bloodlines, because you're going to get the band pretty much continuing what they've already set out to do, although things do seem a lot more up to date and modernized, but it's still Howl, and this band still kicks ass. Bloodlines is a riff monster, and it's very well evidenced upon the first moments of the opening track, Attrition. Just the riffs you hear on those songs are just incredibly heavy, very powerful, very, very catchy. It's the kind of guitar style that you heard on the previous record, although there's a lot more full force to it. Just the way the guitar riffs sound are just absolutely amazing. Just the way the guitars are played when they're played together, when you hear just the riffs on their own, it's just very powerful. Very, very heavy and crushing. That's the kind of Howl guitar style you hear. I mean, tracks like One Last Nail and With a Blade, you hear some incredible riff work going on here, and it's just definitely a pleasure for your ears to behold. The same thing can be said with the bass tone. The bass tone is very solid, very audible and clear, almost gritty at times. Like, I want to say on the track The Mouth of Madness, just the way that song begins, it just has an incredible attention to detail when it comes to the bass. But it's like that throughout the entire record. There's no dueling with the main guitars or anything like that. Everything has its equal opportunities, and I definitely think the bass has some great stuff going on here. The drums. The drums were something that I really, really dug about the first Howl record, but this time, the drums sound a lot clearer, a lot more concise. There are some great, great moments to be heard on here, some great blast beats, some awesome fills. I mean, there's some great fills throughout this record. Yeah, just the way everything is patterned and syncopated, it just plays very, very nicely, and there's a lot to enjoy about the drum work here. And vocal-wise, the vocals here took me a little bit by surprise, because on Full of Hell and the previous EP, the vocalist had a very angry, growling kind of approach. But on here, you get the growling style that you heard on the last record, but there seems to be more of an aggressive kind of singing style going on. The vocalist is literally singing, and he does so in a way that's very, very awesome and very, very fun to listen to. I mean, just the way he delivers his lyrics, the way he says his words, just that anger and aggravation in his voice, I think it sounds really awesome. I mean, I want to say on songs like Down So Low and Embrace Your Nerve, there are moments where you hear the vocalist sing, and honestly, it has an almost southern metal approach. I mean, stuff like Crowbar or Down. You pick up some of those vibes when you listen to the singing of this record. But yeah, the vocals are just absolutely top notch. It's something different, but I think it's pulled off very, very nicely here. But yeah, overall, compared to the debut, I don't honestly know how I feel about it. I mean, I don't know if it's better. I don't know if it's better or not, but I still think this is a band that does this musical style justice. They dare to transcend out of sludge to do some other great things, like some heavy hard rock or southern metal, stoner metal, whatever you want to call it. This band is definitely metal, and they pull it off to a T here with Bloodlines. If you were a fan of the first album or the previous EP of theirs, you will definitely have something to enjoy with Bloodlines. It's something completely different, but I still think Howl pull it off greatly. And hell, this new album will probably have a place in my top 20. I really enjoy this band's style, and they do a great job justice. If I had to pick any favorite tracks, I would definitely have to say Attrition, Demonic, One Last Nail. That's a great track. Your Hell Begins, and With a Blade. There's some incredible songwriting going on with these songs and this album altogether. So again, the album is Bloodlines by Howl. This is released on Relapse Records. It's set to be released this Tuesday. Definitely check it out if you're able to get a hold of it. I know I sure will. So I'm going to give this a very solid 9 out of 10. Really awesome follow-up from this band. Howl definitely do this kind of metal musical style justice, and they do it their way. So support Howl. I'm going to conclude this video. Thanks a lot for watching. Thanks for checking out my channel, and until the next time, Armijo out.